Yeah.
Cool. Daryl's going to be joining us tonight. So, what's new with you, Truman?
Not much. Well, kind of watching my kids right now. My wife decided that she had to go get us some groceries. They're sleeping though.
Oh, okay.
If they wake up, I'll just have to go get them, put them in the front room, throw on a cartoon, and let them sit there and stare at the TV for a while.
Right on. Yeah, if that comes up, just let me know.
All right. And she just went to Walmart and back. Shouldn't be too long.
Right on. Cool. Cool. So, you got my note about leveling up Aaron?
Yeah. I'm just working on trying to figure out what I want for wounds and Hell of Thorns. For my
Gotcha.
for my fighting style, I went with archery, so I get a +2.
Okay.
I went ahead and I worked that in. Oh, where'd it go? Oh, there it is. That's why it's showing a +8. I clicked on the magnifying glass and put it in the bonus section. I
Okay.
guess that's all.
Yeah, that works.
All right. Yeah, I think I'm done.
Sweet.
Wait, what about skills?
Your
It's been so long
skills.
since I played.
Okay, so your skills, they're not necessarily going to go up. They'll go up
Oh,
as your stats increase or
oh,
as your
cool.
proficiency bonus goes up. So you don't have to worry about your skills. Your
All right.
abilities, I don't think you got anything new that we have to worry about. Actually, let me look at sharpshooter. Okay, that looks okay. Okay, all those look good. Let's see here.
If enemy stays the same, yeah. All right.
Yep, looks like everything is good. Wait a minute. Cure wounds. Huh.
I was on the ranger spell list, so I thought,
Yeah, it doesn't look like it actually worked right. Let me,
oh,
I'm gonna delete that one and I'll put it in again. So give me just
okay,
a second.
not a problem.
Okay, that's in there. Let's see here. Alright, those look good. Sweet. Are you here with us now, Daryl?
Yes, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you. The elusive Truman has appeared.
Hey,
Right on. Alright. Let's get into tonight's episode of Cursing. Alright. So you are both in the town of Loudwater. Um, Aaron, the rest of the party, they went off without you. Your son, or not your son, your father, after you were basically, there was a fight where you were attacked. A bunch of kobolds went after you. You tried to pull them off the rest of the party. They ended up capturing you. And the rest of the party, after you disappeared, they couldn't find you. They came back. Everyone thought you were dead. But your father wanted the rest of the party to retrieve your body if that was the case. So they went out looking for you. And they did find you in some old kobold caves. At an entrance to some weird dungeon with large ceilings. There was a big, huge, like mechanical gear-driven door. A bunch of pillars in there had gears and whatnot on there. But anyhow, you were captured and you were taken there by the kobolds.
All right.
While you were there, let's see here. Actually, do you speak kobold? No, you speak goblin. Okay. So while you were there, these little buggers, they kept constantly talking, trying to get you to talk. You can never understand them. But you saw that they were frequented by a dark-skinned elf known as Drow quite often. And you remember one time when they were very agity, and along with the Drow, there was this gaunt, pale-skinned humanoid creature with a silver sword that had also went and visited them at one point in time. Actually, let's get you to make a nature check for me on that. See if you can discover what type of person that was.
All right. Let me see. Here we go.
Okay. So, pretty odd. You've seen pictures and heard stories passed down to you by your father, Gobel, of these creatures they're usually planar creatures that travel to different planes looking for illithids called Githyanki's. That individual that visited the kobolds was in fact a Githyanki. Let's see here.
All right.
Okay, so you do speak Elven. You heard mention something from when that Drow had visited you. It was a different dialect of Elf than what you're used to.
Okay.
You do know that Drow in this area were a specific race bred by the old Assyrian Empire to be trained assassins. So that's their main task. So it's kind of weird to see one of these, roaming around. But you overheard her talking about there were some there's some ruins nearby, and they were thinking it was probably behind those large mechanical doors near the area that you were trapped in. And they called that place. Give me 1 second here. Okay. Let's see. Okay. They called that place Kur Darum.
A room.
Yep. But supposedly, it sounds like, from what you've gathered, that elf, she's in search of some text relics and whatnot that pertain to the old Lich Krar. Dang it. Sorry. My brain is escaping me. Da, da, da. Okay. Oh, Lich. Yeah. The ancient Lich Krar Gudak that was supposedly destroyed hundreds and hundreds of years ago.
All right.
So,
So
anyhow,
I gotta
go ahead.
mention all that to my father.
Yep. A couple more things. Just trying to give you background here to get you kind of caught up. So, while you were there for a few days, 3 to 4 days, you figure. The rest of your party, you heard. Actually, what you saw when you were there is there's a huge lair of kobolds in that huge entrance chamber to that old dungeon. And a fight broke out between them and a bunch of goblins that had run in. They broke through and they started attacking the kobolds. You took that chance to break out of your cell and found this tunnel that led up out of this cave area to freedom, and you ran for it. Unbeknownst to you, coming into that entrance without that huge fight, the rest of your party came in at that time, in the search of trying to find you. You didn't know it at the time when you broke for it and went up and got away. They later caught up with you, but when you were breaking free and you were trying to get out of there to run, you do speak Goblin, and you heard something to the effect that the goblins were saying that we need to kidnap as many as we can for the master. He needs more thralls, and something about an elder brain.
Okay.
Okay. It was shortly after that you broke out of there. The rest of your party, they were able to decimate all the remaining goblins and kobolds, and they chased after you, found you, and they brought you back recently. That was one of their last episodes that they had. So now we are back in town at Bogtown. You're probably at your house at this moment.
I wanna look for Gobble Gain. Is that his name? Gobble? My dad?
Yep, Gobblekill.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I wanna find him. Have I talked to him yet about everything?
Nope. He says, "Son, I'm glad that you're back. I thought I had lost you like your mother." "Are you doing okay, son?"
Nod my head and say, well, it was a harrowing experience, but I'm well now. Did I manage to escape? Have I spoke to him about everything I learned there?
Nope, you have
First
not.
time I've seen him.
This is the
Okay.
first time you've seen him.
Okay. So I definitely want to mention some of the things I've seen. Captive to these kobolds, I seen this woman that appeared elven.
Very interesting. So she said she was searching for relics of the old Lich Kargudak. Interesting. Yeah, he was supposedly exterminated hundreds of years ago. Hopefully he still is. But it can't be any good for anyone to go seeking any knowledge or relics passed down by that ancient lich. And so do you relay everything that I told you, or?
Yeah, yeah, it's my father. I'm gonna relay everything about the Gith Yankee that met with a drow. Everything I know about the entire situation.
Ah, wow. Sounds like there's more at stake out there in the wilds than we previously thought. It's a dangerous place out there, but it sounds like it's really dangerous now.
It's getting there. Oh,
Gotcha.
what does he propose we do?
Well, if that's the case, you and your friends need to seek out, probably go back to that place, and we need to find out if there are any relics left over or any knowledge. We need to find them before she does, or whoever they're working for does. We don't want that knowledge falling into the wrong hands. He's all, but he goes, "Come, son. Let's go down to the Laughing Harpy, grab some drinks, and enjoy this evening. We could talk further over there. I'm a bit thirsty at the moment."
It's good. I'm a bit thirsty myself, so I'll go have a couple drinks with Pops.
Alright, so you guys head over to the Laughing Harpy. It gets its name from, there's an overhanging sign with an old stuffed harpy that sits atop the entrance going in. And every time someone goes in, you hear a cackle emanating from the stuffed harpy. That's where it gets its name, the Laughing Harpy. So you enter this tavern. You see that the furnishings are made out of a plush red satin with oak wood. It's got fine tables and whatnot all over the place. And Torex is the innkeeper.
I'm gonna have to go AFK for a minute, Keith. My kids are running around in there. I see them on the monitor.
Okay, while you do that, I will hop over to Daryl and get him introduced here, and we'll meet up with you in a minute. All right. So, Torden. Anyhow, you find yourself in this Laughing Harpy. Probably sitting over in a corner somewhere, or maybe up at the bar. You see a stout tiefling manning the inn. As you enter in, he introduces himself as Torex. "Greetings, dragonkind. We don't see much of your part in this neck of the woods. What brings you to Bogtown?"
Well, in a small city not far from here, I am, was a temple guard for a small shrine to Lathander, but I've grown tired of being a petty pawn of the socialistic idiocies of the religion. So I decided to take my chance at adventuring, because I just bore of sitting there day after day guarding a shrine that nobody hardly comes to, and no robbers come for me to slay. So I decided to try my hand at making some coin at adventuring.
Ah, and when you had mentioned Lathander, his eyebrows raised. That's very interesting for one of your kind. Most of your kind are busy up at the Dragovar Empire, raiding the countries up there, killing people. I'm glad to see that there is actually some good among you folk.
Yes, unfortunately, my kin, as you put it, even though I take that term loosely, I do not want to be associated with those foul blooded people or creatures. I won't even call them people. They disgust me. And Torden spits on the ground as he says it. I will make my own path in life. I will not be associated with the stupidity of my ancestors.
Ah, good, good, good. Well, are you hungry? Can we get you a table, get you something to eat? Maybe have a drink?
Yes, I am starving actually. I walked all the way from the city to here and had a couple of incidents along the way with some highwaymen that thought that they were going to take my coin. So I had to teach them a little lesson as he pats on his great sword on his back.
Ah, yes. I've been hearing lots of reports of merchants being waylaid by the bandits along the Creeper's Way, the road that leads here. Glad that you made it.
Yes, I'm glad that I made it. Huh. I'm also glad that those robbers did make it.
Good. Well, Carissa here, she will show you over to one of the tables and get you taken care of. And she comes up, oh, right this way. And she kind of is sizing you up and down. Never seen one of your kind around here. I've only heard stories about dragon men. Anyhow, how about this corner table back here?
This will be fine.
Will anyone else be joining you this evening?
I'm not sure. For right now, it will just be me.
Ah, okay. Well, so, can I get you something to eat? We've got a couple of specialties tonight. We've got the grilled sausage on a bed of rice with cinnamon turnips. Or you could try the house favorite, fried shrimp with curry duck, black-eyed peas, and a corn muffin.
I will take both.
Oh, okay. She scribbles that down. And would you like anything to drink?
Yes, a very stiff ale if you have it.
Well, the only ale we have is the Merwin Wheat Ale. We also have a dark stout. The wheat ale, it's a well-known brand sold from an established chain of breweries called Merwin's Finest. Or the Toppled Ogre is the dark stout. It's a dwarven beer with little alcohol content, but strong explosive flavor.
I will try the dwarven drink then.
All right, one Toppled Ogre. Okay. And will you be needing a room for tonight?
Yes.
Okay, very well. Let me go turn this into the kitchen. I'll be back with your drink, and I will also let Torix know that you will be spending the night with us.
All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Are you still away, Truman? Must be. Okay. So she comes back over a couple minutes later with a dark stout. She's got a mug there along with this bottle. And she hands it down to you. And now you. She goes, "Is there anything else I can get for you while we wait for your meal?"
No, not at the moment. I thank you for your hospitality.
You're welcome. And as she's talking to you, as you kind of glance around, you see a couple different tables, and they keep eyeballing, looking over at you. Obviously, it must be Dragonborn are definitely a rarity in these parts.
Hmm. Well, I look over at one of the people at the tables, and if you wish to look my way, why don't you come over this way and sit and talk instead of stare?
Uh, okay. And with that, they're sipping on some ale. He comes over and pulls out a chair quite far from the table and sits down, obviously uncomfortable. So, you're new around here.
What it gave. As I lean toward him a little bit, and I let some of the saliva from my breath weapon ooze out of my mouth and hit the table with a hissing sound as it hits the table and starts to burn a small hole in the table. You could say that I am from out of town.
Yeah.
But you show interest in me, so what do you want to know?
Well, my name is Erig. Erig Every. I'm an apprentice here at the Blackwater Academy. Just, like I said, I've never seen your folk around here. As a matter of fact, we've only heard of people like you. So, do you worship one of those gods? Those dragon gods? Or dragon kings? Or whatever they are? At the Dragovar Empire?
No, I am from a town not too far from here. I was a temple guard for a shrine of Lathander, a temple of Lathander. But I grew bored of just being a simple marionette of the machinations of the religion there, so I decided to take up maybe being a mercenary to earn some coin.
Ah. So you must be from Plurg, huh?
Yes.
Ah. Do they have an academy over there?
Out of character. Do they? I'm not
Actually,
sure.
out of character, I don't have anything for Plurg yet. So,
Okay. All right. So it's out of
so
character.
if you want to make something
Yeah.
up, go for it.
No, they don't have a academy there. We do have a small collection of arcane casters that reside there, but they are too busy with the infighting to actually bring themselves together to actually have a training facility of sorts. So as of now, no. And knowing how petty they are, it probably will never happen.
Ah, I see. Well, I, I think we're doing quite well here at the Blackwater Academy. It's a shame they don't have an academy there. So I take it that the wizards probably run that town as well, like most of the towns here are within Kurthing.
Yes, they they feign to be smarter than everyone, but in reality, they're just thugs that can cast spells, basically. But nobody really pays them too much attention, so they let them do what they want as long as they don't bother the more powerful people that reside in the town.
Ah, I see. So you mentioned Lathander. Have you met Grasvinior Veron, the priest of Lathander here in Bogwater yet?
No, I have not.
Ah, I see. Well, I do know there is some adventures. Aaron, well, I'm not sure where he is. Anyhow, there's a bunch of them are running around, some adventurers. We haven't had too many travelers lately, but seems like they've been quite successful so far.
Hmm. Anything will be better than being a pitiful temple guard. Just the simple fact of what I used to do, which was hardly nothing, makes my blood boil.
Gotcha. Well, I can understand that that would probably be very boring. Oh, looky here. It looks like Aaron Kell is coming through the doors with his father Gobel now. And with that, Erig stands up, waving over to Aaron and Gobel, says, "Ah, we have a newcomer, one of these Dragonborn. Come over here and meet him."
Ah, I'll approach him. Oily jerk. Oh, what is that?
What is that?
I thought I was talking to my daughter.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Anyhow, Aaron Gobel, this is oh, I'm sorry. What was your name again, sir?
Torden.
Torden. Anyhow, it looks like he's searching for adventure. Uh, anyhow, yeah, have a seat and join us. Gobel, he extends his hand out to Torden. He says, "Well met." And he kind of eyeballs you, looking at your weaponry.
I
And
see your trepidation. Only by proving my worth will I show that I'm not of my kin. And he says kin with disdain as he spits.
well, just so you know, I am the magistrate here in town. I keep the order. But anyhow,
Okay.
well met. I hope you find what you're looking for. If you need any assistance, I'm here to help. Anyhow, let's have something to drink. He's like,
Very
Caressa,
well.
Caressa, how about some of that Merowin wheat ale? And I'll take your special, the fried shrimp with curry ducky, black-eyed peas, and the corn muffin. She jots that down. She looks over at you, Aaron. What can I get for you, Aaron? Are you hungry today?
I have some. I'm gonna have some roast duck.
We don't have any roast
Some.
duck, but if you want duck, the fried shrimp with the curry duck, black-eyed peas, and corn muffin should hook you up.
Yeah, I'll have that. That
Alrighty.
sounds good to me.
Okay. And with that, she jots that down and she goes, I'll be back with your drinks. Gobel sits down and he's like, yeah, Aaron here. He's my son. He's been out with some adventures lately. Maybe he can fill you in on some of the stuff he's seen out there. He's a pretty handy guy and guide for the area.
I'll slightly bow and begin to talk about my experiences in captivity, some of the things I've seen and heard.
Hmm. Sounds like just what I'm looking for. A chance to, I guess you could say, flex my muscle. Be out in the world and see some things instead of being a petty pawn, a temple guard. This interests me.
Oh. It's like we're gonna check out these ruins, huh, Keith?
What ruins?
Name. The ones I escaped from.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe. Anyhow, a few minutes goes by as you guys are talking amongst yourselves, and you see a big group of warriors come in. They're dressed in some tattered ringmails, some leathers, definitely some weapons, long swords, maces, and whatnot. And they're all donning some red cloaks. One kind of steps up, looks around, and he tells Torix, the innkeeper there, says, I am Kilmet Selkmach, leader of the Red Cloaks. I am here on behalf of the Queen to investigate what's going on here at Bogtown. It seems that Bogtown is not paying its fair share of taxes lately. Hopefully we can find out why. And you see Gobel kind of gives them a dirty eye and just ignores them. And right after that, Caressa comes out with your guys' food, hands you your plates to eat. And she hands those off. She goes over to a couple tables over where you see Ivan. He's a common drunk here. And he gets something to drink and hands her off a coin that she holds up. Oh, this is weird. I've never seen a coin like this before. anyhow, Caressa, after looking at it for some time, she comes up to you guys. Hey, Gobel, have you ever seen one of these coins? And he takes a look at it. It's a gold coin. He says, interesting. It's an old Assyrian Empire coin. An Empire Sovereign is what they called those. You don't see very many of those lately. Where'd you get this from? And she points over at Ivan. Ivan just gave it to me. He's like, really? I wonder where he got that from. And anyhow, she heads back over to Torex. She grabs a key, brings it over to Torden, and hands it to you. We have secured your room for the night, Torden.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So, Aaron, as Gobel speaks it up, you think you and your buddies are going to head off to those ruins here soon?
There's an eyebrow and am I speaking to?
Gobel?
Is that Gobel?
Yep. Well, you don't seem to want to talk much, Aaron. Are you still tired from your ordeals of being captured by them damn kobolds?
Are you able to hear me, Keith?
Yeah, I hear you just fine.
Was it Gobel I was talking to?
Yeah, Gobel, your father.
Oh yeah. Then I'll nod my head and tell him yes, he's ruined soon. I think it's in our best interest to see if these relics may still exist. That falling into the wrong hands.
Ah. Oh, good, good. Well, I've got a full tummy now, and I'm getting tired. Nice to meet you, Torden. I'm gonna head home for the night and catch some sleep.
Very well. Until we meet again.
Yep. Well, have a good night.
Let's see. About what time of day is it, Keith?
It's in the late evening right now. See a lot of people are starting to hit home. You see those red cloak guys, they're still up drinking and giving Torex a hard time up at the bar. Ivan, the town drunk, he's about two tables over in a booth there, and you hear him snoring.
I bid Torden a farewell tonight then, and ask if we could meet up in the morning and maybe go check out these ruins.
Yes, I would definitely be excited to do something other than my previous occupation.
Well, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna turn in for the night, so I'll head home as well, and plan to meet up with Torden in the morning. We could head out and check out these ruins.
All right. As you're headed out, the leader of those red cloaks, he goes, "Hey, you live around here?"
I know who these people are.
It's a new group that came in. They announced that they're working for the Queen, and they're the ones here investigating why the town of Bogtown isn't paying their fair share of taxes.
Just nod my head. Say, yes, I live here.
You ever hear of someone by the name of Clobber?
What? Haven't I? Didn't I travel with him for a little bit?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to ask what their business is with this clobber. Which name, by the way?
Oh,
Use.
nothing. I just trying to make talk. Trying to get to know you locals.
Do you wish to get to know us? Do you plan on staying long?
I'll be here as long as it takes to find out why you guys ain't paying your taxes.
It had a little, well, not so much a bow, but almost a bow, and say, very well, welcome to Bogtown.
Yeah,
A wonderful evening to you, gentlemen. And I'll turn to leave.
gotcha. All right, you leave. You hear him up there talking with the other guys. No wonder why they can't pay their taxes. Bunch of scum live here. So
I'll
anyhow,
let that remark pass.
all right. So you head uh, back home and rest up at your house. Torden, is there anything you want to do before you head up to your room for the night?
I want to try to pay attention to the conversation that the innkeeper and the head of that group came in. I want to pay attention to that conversation.
Okay. So you've overheard that Queen Devora, she's supposedly hired them to come down here, find out what's up with the taxes, and you've overheard him asking if he knows anyone by the name of Clobber, and Torx just kind of shines him off like, I know, that's kind of an uncommon name. Well, what business do you have with them? And then the guy just tries to change the subject.
Hmm. Okay. Well, I'll stay there for another maybe hour or so, and if at any time that guy from that group goes away, I want to talk to the innkeep.
All right. Short time, about 10 minutes later, you hear the snoring coming from Ivan to boosts over, stop. He kind of gets up, shakes his head, kind of starts stumbling to the door, spins around, and then instead of headed towards the door, he starts headed towards your table and just kind of crashes into one of the chairs. Oops, uh, I'm sorry. And he looks up at you wide eyed. Oh, shit. Uh, I'm sorry.
I will pick him up by the scruff of his collar and gently escort him to the door and set him outside, all the while wanting to literally throw him through the wall. But I will play nice.
All right, you escort him outside. He's out there. He's all, oh, that's kind of you, mister. And he kind of digs into his pocket. You hear some jingling. He pulls out one of those gold sovereign coins and gives it to you. Here you go. Here's for your troubles.
Thank you. Now go home and quit making a fool of yourself in public.
You know, my brothers would have really liked you. You look like a good adventuring type. Too bad they died bringing these coins to me. Anyhow, have a good night. And he stumbles off into the darkness.
Hmm. Okay, so I'm gonna walk back into the inn, looking at the coin, remembering what was said earlier about the coin, and I'm gonna go over to the innkeeper and chat him up for a moment.
Alright. He sees you coming. Well met. Torden, right?
Yes, I set the coin on the bar. Tell me what you know about this.
I've never seen one of those outside of this evening. And that's strange. Very strange.
Your patron, I use that term loosely, gave it to me for my troubles, he said.
Wow. And he takes a look at it and he examines it. Wow. These are pretty rare from what I understand. He goes, now that's really interesting though. And he kind of looks over back towards those red cloaks that are on the other side of the bar. They just paid me with coins just like these.
The patron said that his brother died bringing these coins here.
Oh, really? Well, he had a couple brothers. They went out hunting a couple months back down into the swamps off to the south, and supposedly, rumor is that they found some treasure hold out there, and Ivan, he came back and he's just mumbled a few words here and there, but no one knows exactly what happened. Anyone who tries to talk to him, he says he just starts going crazy and starts yelling and screaming and runs off.
All right. I'll keep that in mind. Well, I guess I'm going to go to bed, and I'll be here in the morning to talk to Aaron and anybody else that wants to find some adventure and earn some coin. I bid you good night.
Very well. Good night. All right, and you head up to your room for the night.
Yep.
And there's some nice plush beds for the amount that you paid for your rest here. You're like, wow, this is a steal. Sleep quickly takes you and Aaron. And sometime early in the morning, you guys, actually, we'll go to Aaron first. Aaron, you're sleeping in your bed there at the Kell's house, and you guys hear a loud pounding coming from the door. Go Bell! Go Bell! And your father's like, oh, who is it? And he slowly gets up as they keep pounding on the door. What the hell's all this racket? And he opens the door. Go Bell, there's been a murder! Go Bell's all, oh, really? I'm hungry. I'm still tired. He's like, you know what? And he yells for you, Aaron. Aaron, wake up!
All right. I'll mosey downstairs like I'm about to trip over my own feet.
There's been a murder in town. We're gonna need to go check it out, Aaron.
A murder?
Yeah, and you see one of the farmers, local farmers. He's standing at the door. You notice it's still dark. It must be raining because you see water dripping from his head. He's like, "Yeah, one of the guards from the west gate. They found his throat slit." And Gobel's all, "What? One of the guards? Holy crap! Alert the rest of the guards." And the guy runs off in search of the other two guards because you know that there are 3 guards in town. Well, let's head on down there, Aaron. Go find out what's going on. He goes, "I think I'll head over to the Laughing Harpy though. Grab some coffee on the way over there to the western gate."
To meet Torden there as well.
Gotcha. So
We're gonna
anyhow,
check.
you
We're
got
gonna check out the ruins.
yeah. So you guys you get dressed and you head over towards the Laughing Harpy, where Torx is there, barely awake, with some coffee for a gulble. He says, "All right, let's go find out what's up here." And Torden, it's early in the morning, and you hear all kinds of yelling and a whole bunch of activity coming from downstairs. You look out your window, you see it's still dark out, and it's raining, but there's clearly a lot of commotion coming from downstairs.
All right. I'll go ahead and get my gear together and go downstairs to find out what the hell's going on.
All right, you head down there, and you see at the bar, you see Torix there with some coffee, handing a mug of coffee over to Gobel. You also see your friend Aaron Kell, who you met last night, is there. Gobel's, wow. Well, let's. Aaron, you coming with me? You can bring your friend.
Nod my head. Tell him I'll catch up. I'm gonna talk to Torden briefly, see if he's interested in coming along since this trip to the ruins has been put off.
Very well. I'll see you over there. And Gobel takes his coffee and heads out.
I'm not sure if it's my headphones.
Okay. I turn toward Aaron. So what is all this commotion?
I'll explain. There was some farmers at my father's door not long ago here in Bogtown last night. Investigate the murder. So it appears that our trip to the ruins will be postponed, but you're welcome to join me. Figure anything out leading to this murder. Postponed.
Well, of course, obviously, since those people, I use that term loosely, and he spits on the ground again, that came in, it's kind of funny that they appear and then in the night somebody gets murdered.
Nicely my thoughts.
So yeah, this will be definitely interesting. He cracks his knuckles. Shall we?
Let us head out.
Very well.
Were we told that was one of the guards that was murdered, or guards found the body?
It was one of the guards that they found that was killed.
I'll repeat that to Torden as well. Let him know that, yeah, so I hear it was one of Bogtown's town guards that was found. Guaranteed he had a little experience. He was armed. Let's check this scene out and see what we could find.
Okay, so you guys heading down the street that heads towards the western gate.
Yes.
The main road here, it's pretty muddy, pools of water everywhere. It's obviously been raining most of the night. You make it down to the edge of town. You see a couple guards holding some torches. You see your father Gobel sitting there looking at the area. As you guys come up, Alfred, you recognize it's Winrick Ulfred is the guard that was killed. One of Clobber's friends. Anyhow, from looking at it, looks like he had his throat slit. There's a bloody knife nearby that looks like Gobel is picking up and putting in a bag. And about that time, you hear some screaming from some of the nearby houses. And Gobel's all, oh crap. What in the hell's going on? And he starts shuffling over to some of the houses nearby there. And you notice that it's actually Clobber's house. And you see his wife come out screaming, "My children! They're gone! They're gone! Someone kidnapped my kids!" And you know that Clobber's got like 9 kids. But you see a bunch of kids around her.
This is where Clobber usually resides.
Yep.
Right.
She goes, someone kidnapped 2 of my kids. And then you hear some screaming from the other side of the street. You see some lights go on. Some of the guards, the other 2 guards that are out there, they run over. And come to find out, it sounds like there's about a bunch of kids in nearby houses that have been kidnapped. Total of 6 in all.
Been what?
Total of 6 kids have been kidnapped between 3 houses here at the Western Gate.
Oh. Ah. It's those guys that came into town. To find out where they're at. How many of them were there?
There was about 10 of them.
I want to tell my father of my suspicions.
Gobbles all. You really think the queen would send investigators down here that would go about killing people?
I believe they're working for the Queen.
Well, that's right. I didn't actually find out if they had any paperwork. Yeah, I think I will head off, and I'll actually go talk to Faith Ainless, the mayor. He's also the leader of Blackwater Academy. I'll head off over there, and I'll find out if he knows anything about these red cloaks in town.
Be a good idea.
He's all, maybe you guys should find out if you can find out any more about these kidnappings. And you see there's a couple guys that are dragging off Winrick's corpse. They're going to take it down to the Church of Lathander and see if they can get the priest there to cast Speak with Dead and find out some info.
If his throat was slit, though, he might have been attacked from behind without seeing his attackers. We need to find out. It's supposed to work too. Is he supposed to be in this area? Was he assigned to walk this area or certain wall at some certain point? What was
Uh,
his?
you know from Gobel, he lets you know that Winrick, he was on duty last night, and it's usually only one guard on at night.
He was posted at the gate to the town, or
No, he was doing his patrols. There's only one guard that patrols at night, the whole town.
I I imagine he happened upon the scene when they were kidnapping some children for seeing whatever he saw. Preventing, or he was killed to prevent kidnappers. Gonna look around. I'm gonna look around the body, see if I can find any tracks or anything in the mud.
Okay, give me an investigation check, please.
Investigating anything. Hold on, Keith.
Okay.
There it is.
Okay. So you check around the body, um, and as you're, searching around the body in one of the pools of water nearby, you see something sparkling, catching some of the torchlight, and you reach down and probably pick it up to take a look, and you notice one of those old elven sovereign coins that were being passed around there in this pool.
It is there.
You also take a look around, um, and there are a bunch of small humanoid prints all around. Um, Definitely a humanoid that's probably 100 pounds or lighter, with small feet, small booted prints. A bunch of them, the footprints are around the guard. You see a lot of these footprints also head off towards some of the neighboring um, houses where some of the kids were kidnapped. And it looks like they both come and go to the west outside of town.
Can I? Did I make an intelligence check or something to see if they might be one of my favorite enemies, kobolds or goblins?
Um, by looking at the size of the prints, they could easily be goblins.
Okay. All right. Of advantage to tracking goblins or kobolds.
Gotcha.
Was a +2 bonus to damage when attacking them. All right, should we try to see where these kidnappers are taking these kids?
Torden takes off his great sword, slams the blade in the ground. This will not stand. How can these people live with themselves, kidnapping innocent children? If I come across these people, there will be no arrest made. I'll leave it at that. He takes his great sword and puts it back on his back. Lead the way.
I'm going to pass Torden that coin that I found in the dirt.
Yes, I have one of these. One of the drunken patrons handed me one for my troubles for escorting him out side of the inn, even though I wanted to throw him through the wall to the outside. But I gave my word that I would play nice for now.
Was the drunk's name Keith Ivan?
Yes, sir. That was Ivan.
No, Ivan's not kidnapping these kids and killing guards. Can't stay on his own 2 feet long enough. Drax, I think we should find my father and pass him this coin. Since Torden was staying in the bar, I'm going to ask Torden, did you hear or see anybody else using these coins? We know that, as well as the barkeep. Do we have any other suspects?
Not that I can remember. Maybe those new idiots that came into town harassing people, maybe they have some.
All right. So yeah, we need to take this information to my father since he's going to look for information into the Red Cloaks anyway. I found this coin at the murder site, and that we've definitely seen some in the bar the night of the murder.
Okay. So you guys head off to the Blackwater Academy to find your father?
Yes.
Alright, so you head down the main road that runs east-west to the far east side of town. It's actually the southeast corner of town. The old castle that was partially built is what is the Blackwater Academy. And you head through where the gate would be if they had one there. And you head over to the main tower that's intact, knocking on the door. A short time later, the door is opened, and you see Liesa of House Solbar answers. Oh, hi, Aaron. And your friend? We were just talking. Come on in, come on in.
All right. I'll nod my head politely.
Yeah.
Go ahead and go in.
She heads through the small entryway where she asked to take your jackets or coats, if you have any, to put on the wall since it was raining.
I'll pass her my cloak.
And she hangs it up on the wall. And she proceeds to take you into the main audience chamber, where you see Gobel, Fithainless, and one of the Red Cloaks. Looks like the leader, Clement, is there. And Gobel, you hear Gobel. Why weren't we notified that Queen Davana was going to send you guys here? Fithainless is all, yes, this is interesting. We didn't hear of any correspondence till now. But he's looking at a piece of paper with a seal. And he says, but, Gobel, this seal looks like the real deal. And Clement, the leader of the Red Cloaks, he's got this bushy mustache and beard. He's got dirty brown hair that's about shoulder length. And he's got a couple of his front teeth missing. And he smiles. Yeah, Queen Davona, she told us that you'd give us some trouble. It's alright. As you can see, everything's all on the up and up. And we're going to find out why you're not paying your taxes. Gobel, he looks at you. And he says, excuse me, Fithainless, Clement. I need to find out what my son Aaron has to say. And Clements, he looks over, kind of nods over at Torden and Aaron. He's all, I think I should hear what's going on too. And you see he's following Gobel over to you. Gobel's all, Aaron, as he looks over his shoulder at Clement, what did you find?
On with a little investigation, I found this coin, and I'll hold it forth in the palm of my hand for. It was found at the scene of the murder, and it was brought to my attention that some was used at the inn last, or at the bar last. What was it, the inn? Where were we at? Sorry.
At the Laughing Harpy?
Thank you. When we were eating last night, and I stayed behind to speak with Torden, um, it was, well, okay, I'm sorry. It was brought to my attention that Ivan has just such a coin, and we have some suspicions that these red cloaks going with him.
Gobel's this is a pretty rare coin. Interesting. And about that time, Clement walks right up behind you. He says, what's this about this coin? And he puts his hand out to grab the coin. Where'd you get this coin?
I'll wait for my father to speak. I don't know if he has any indication or if it's been mentioned to him of the murder of the Bogtown guard. I don't want to release any information my father might be holding back.
And Clement, he just smiles. He says, we're on behalf of the Queen. We're privy to such information. You could tell us.
Okay, so I'll relate the story that I found this coin at the scene of a murder of a town guard.
Wow. You guys can't pay your taxes, but yet these rare golden coins are passed around as if there's money to be spread all around.
And indeed that this coin arrives with the sudden appearance of you and your men.
What is that supposed to mean? Well, this will be going in my report.
It's going to look to Gobel. Have they presented you with the paperwork showing the seal of the Queen?
Gobel, he nods. He goes, yes, and Fithanless, he indicates that it's all legit. So I assume they're going to be all up our butts. Right, Clement? And Clement just smiles. Uh-huh.
Is it possible that I may see this writ of passage bearing this seal of the Queen?
Sure. Fithanless has it over there.
I'll walk up to Fithanless and ask him if I can see this writ of passage.
And Fithanless goes, sure. And he holds it out to you. And it indicates that I, Queen Devana, hereby issue forth this writ of investigation. These red cloaks, led by Clement Stelmach, shall investigate the town of Bogtown for lack of tax payments being made. And it's got her seal on it.
I'm going to use a history check to see if the seal appears authentic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a history check.
Great in that skill either, but
You take a look at it, kind of looking at it, with a cautious eye. It looks like it's intact, and it looks like it's the correct seal.
Just nod my head. Tell my father, I suppose, that I will continue our investigations.
And about that time, you see Gobel. He walks back over towards you. He says, Aaron, while I help Fithanlis deal with these matters with these red cloaks, would you and your friend mind looking and trying to find out about these kidnapped kids? And Clement saw, oh, so we have a murder and now we have kidnappings too? Interesting.
Tell Gobel, if I could speak to you more privately, I may have some information around the kidnappings that we looking into. It could also be associated with the murder. However, this is bogged down business, so I will save that for our magistrate's ears.
And Clement, he just kind of gives you this toothy grin and walks about 3 paces back and turns around and just puts his hand, or folds his hands out and continues watching you. Gobel's all, what did you find out?
Turn my back to, I forgot his name already.
Gobel? Or, Clement.
Yeah, I turned my back to Clement, so as he can't, the movement of my lips to help make out what I may say, and I'm going to try to tell my father in hushed tones that there's many tracks in the mud around the body, goblinoid in nature. Feet could be goblins or kobolds. Appears to be a large group of them. We're about to follow them out. I somehow believe that the murder is associated with the kidnappings, so if we find where these prints are headed, we may find the children as well.
Well, be careful, and we will keep an eye on things here. He goes, you guys should probably head out as soon as you can. We don't know what these goblins would do with these kids.
Eyes narrow as I shoot a glance back over my shoulder towards Clement, my father, and say, you be careful as well. Leave.
As he takes in a deep breath and he says, I will be careful.
As all that transpires, as we are leaving, I walk over to Clement and I hold out my left hand. So, where's the copy of the signet ring that makes the seal? Normally, when a parchment is going this far, they normally send a copy of the signet ring to further verify the seal from the majesty or magistrate or monarch of a kingdom. And as I say that, I let some acid from my mouth drip on my hand. Oh, sorry, I haven't ate yet. Kind of hungry, but yeah. So can I see that ring, please?
And Clement, he gives you a big toothy smile. He goes, oh yeah, I got it right here. And he reaches in to his shirt, pulls out this envelope, and he's all, it's right here. And he pulls out a ring out of the parchment. Does that make you happy? Speaking of which, what brings your kind around here?
Looking for adventure and to destroy the evil that dwells within. And as I say that, I give kind of like a toothy grin, looking him square in the eye.
Gotcha. Well, yeah. Oh, can I have that ring back?
Of course. And as I hand it back to him, I squeeze his hand like, thank you for I thank you for me making your acquaintance. And I squeeze his hand just a little tight
All
and then
right.
release.
And with that, he winces from the strength of that handshake as he pulls it back. And that grin completely disappears, and a look of disdain is on his face now.
I'll see you around. And I turn around and walk out along with Aaron.
Gotcha. All right. As you guys head out, you see the first rays of sunshine starting to come up over the horizon. The rain stops. And you start to hear the birds
Time.
chirping and whatnot. Go ahead.
It's a good time to start following our tracks.
Yes, lead the way. But between you and me, as long as my blade finds purchase in between that ingrate shoulder blades, the happier I'll be. He was talking about Clement.
All right.
All right.
Let's.
Go ahead.
Yes. I was just gonna say, let's do this, Keith.
All right.
Let's head out.
So you guys head out, following these tracks, and with your expertise, Aaron, you're able to quickly find them. And with all the rain and the footprints in the middle of the night, you're able to easily track these prints, making good progress.
Nice.
And from looking at the tracks as you've been going, you kind of are able to estimate that it was probably about 2 or 3 hours before you headed out when the kidnappings and whatnot must have took place. So they've got definitely a couple hours at least on you guys. But you head out into the swamps. These tracks, they lead off to the west. It looks like there's at least half a dozen to 10 of these goblins traveling in this pack.
Okay, so I'm gonna make sure I let my Torden know that we're dealing with somewhere between 6 to 10 of these goblinoid creatures.
Very well. The more to slake the thirst of my blade.
All right.
All right. Go ahead. I need both of you to roll me a d6, please. Okay. So a couple hours goes by as you're following these tracks. And Aaron,
Yes.
you look over and you see an oak tree. It's got a bunch of bushes at its base. And you notice something odd sticking out of the tree that doesn't look like a regular branch or anything. kind of catches your eye for some reason.
All right. Hold on, Keith. I think my son fell down or something.
Ooh, ooh.
Sorry, man. Um. Okay, it's like a branch or something
Yeah,
sticking down from a tree.
you see something sticking out of the trunk of this huge oak tree. At the base of the oak tree, you see a whole bunch of looks like rotten bushes, uh, sparse vegetation on them. But definitely something catches the glint of like silver or steel in the air that's sticking out of the trunk of the
I
tree.
wanna. Oh, God, can people quit falling down around here? I want to check out. I want to check this stump out. This tree stump. See if I could see what's sticking out of it.
All right, you head up, and you see a wooden shaft that is sticking out of the tree, and at the end of the shaft, you see an old, looks like steel amulet hanging from it.
All right. I'm gonna reach out to take the amulet.
Okay. You reach out to try and grab the amulet. All these bushes here at the base of the tree are making it difficult to reach over
Oh,
and grab it. Um, Anyhow, you continue at it, and finally you're able to. You're leaning way over. You're able to grab hold of that amulet, and then you kind of rock back on your heels, amulet in hand. And there's some type of symbol of an open eye, and it's made out of steel. It's kind of rusted along the chain here and there, but otherwise looks like it's still in uh, good condition.
okay. Well, I think I'll throw this. What's on the amulet? Does it have a gem on the chain or?
It's just like a silver. It's almost like a piece of stamped silver circle, and it's got the shape of an open eye looking at you.
Okay. I'll put that around my neck for now.
All right.
Safekeeping.
Um, see here, just a second.
Oh,
Okay. All right. Okay. Torden. As you see Aaron grab that amulet and he puts it around his neck, you notice something peculiar about that amulet that you've seen before. It looks vaguely familiar, like you've seen it in some texts that you've studied in the past.
Hmm. Okay. Aaron, can I see that amulet for a moment?
that's it to you.
Okay. Take a look at it.
Okay. So you take a look at the amulet, and you instantly recognize it now that you're looking at it, that it's an old faction from the Blood Wars. It was a faction of vampires that were hunted down and exterminated. long time ago.
Okay. I uh, pass that information on to Aaron.
Want to take that back off? I'll just put that in a pouch or something.
We're gonna just save this. Put this in this bag right here.
All right. And with that, you see, you give it back to Aaron, and he puts it back. He puts it in his pack. And Torden, you look at that shaft that's sticking out of the stump, and it looks like it's actually a wooden stake that is sticking out of the trunk of this tree.
Oh crap! I pass that information along also, and I say a prayer to Lathander, and basically do a makeshift burial rite, hopefully to bless this area to where this horrible thing occurred. Hopefully, nothing ill came of it, or ill will come of it after we have left.
Okay. So, as Torden is saying this, Aaron, you notice these dead-looking bushes around the tree begin to move.
All right. So I'm gonna and knock an arrow and just kind of tell Torden the bushes are moving.
All right. With that, let's roll some initiative.
Didn't have to put that in the tower.
Nah, you didn't have to. Wow, that was pretty low. Okay. Um, and let me make one more check here. Let's see here. Torden, you instantly recognize these creatures as twig blights. Let's see here.
Okay.
Okay.
Do I remember if they have any weaknesses or immunities?
You do recall that they are highly susceptible to fire.
All right.
Okay. And with that, obviously they got the jump on you, and
Yeah.
they move on you quickly. And number 4 is going to rush up and attack Aaron. As it swings out, tries to rake you with these thorny claws. Ooh, that hit. And it deals 1 point of damage. Okay, the next one here, number 8. It's going to come down and attack Torden. As it claws at you, it hits as well. Dealing 1 damage. Number 5. He's going to run up and attack Aaron as well. It missed. And the last one. Looks like he's going to jump on Aaron as well. That one hit. It tries to break through your armor. It hits, but snags on your armor, not able to penetrate. All right, Torden, you're up.
All right. Having out my great sword, I will see twig blight number 8. And damage.
All right, you reach out and you chop that thing completely in half.
All right, cool. And I'll just stay where I'm at, and that's it for me.
Okay, Aaron, your turn.
All right. Let's. I'm gonna attack that guy right there in front of me. I'm gonna whip out a short sword and away at some wood.
Okay.
You know what? Could I draw my short sword and a dagger in the same round?
You can do one or the other, not both.
Just do a short sword right now.
Okay.
And about with that. Uh,
It ducks under your blow. Clearly, you're able to
right.
miss that.
Really, I'm better with my bow.
Okay. Anything else there?
Let me see what I got. Oh, I don't see any way I could get away from him without getting hit with some opportunity attacks or something. So I'll go ahead and
In the turn? Okay. All right. Number 4 there. He looks over at the tree stump and he starts pulling on that stake that's embedded in the tree. Let's see
knew
here.
that thing was still stuck to a vampire or something.
All right. You see that stake slowly being pulled out. It looks like he's pretty close at pulling it out. Number 5. He is making a claw attack upon you. And that hits. Dealing 3 damage. Ouch. The other one is making a claw attack. He's going to shift over, and he's actually going to attack Torden. And that's a miss. Alright, Torden, you're up.
Okay. Which one is attempting to pull a stake?
Number 4. Twig Blight 4.
Okay. Let me see. I will move over here next to Aaron. And that puts that almost put him in my threat range.
Yep, pretty close.
Uh, okay, well. I guess we'll just do this then. Alright, so we are going to could you target Twig Blight 4 for me, Keith, please?
Sure.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Okay, I'm doing the save and it's not doing anything.
Huh. Okay. Let's see.
Okay.
Which one are you trying to do?
Yeah, I got targeting Blight 4, and I was going to use my breath weapon, the acid stream.
Gotcha. There it is. Okay. Yeah, it isn't doing anything.
It doesn't even have the saving throw stuff, the information there either. It's just blank.
Yeah. Okay. Do you know what the DC is? I'll just make it manually.
Well, let me see. 8, 10. Probably would just be a regular of 12, probably.
Okay. Dex saving throw?
I'm assuming so. Let me check just to make sure.
Okay.
Breath weapon. Check and no, it is a Constitution modifier. I'm
Okay.
in a con saving throw.
All right. He only got an 8, so he failed.
Okay, damage incoming to him then.
Okay. At least that worked.
All right, so get rid of him, and then that will be it for me as I inhale, and you hear this sickening kind of like gurgling in my throat, and then I expel this stream of hot, disgusting acid that just totally just incinerates this twig blight, and now only thing that's there is just a puddle of burning acid, and well, of course, what used to be the twig blight, and
Nice.
that will be it for me, sir.
All right. Aaron, you're up.
Right. Let's see. I'm gonna go for Twig Blight 2. I'm gonna draw that dagger this time.
Okay.
Blight 2. And with the drawing of my dagger, I'm gonna come across diagonally from left to right with a slash, an upward slash, and then I am going to spin the blade of my short sword so it's point down from the back of my fist
Okay. That
and
one.
overhead. What's that?
That first one hit. I
This
don't
one
know.
hit.
Yeah, that's weird. It didn't actually show that it hit. I had to drag it on there. Weird.
There you go.
Okay.
And my swing with my short sword. Why did it do advantage? I'm at, I was dying anyway.
Yeah, number two's dead. Number five's still up though.
And I'll stop there.
Did you want to use your sword attack on number five?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll spin on my heel and slam that point. We'll try to slam that point home. Or not.
And that's a miss. All right. Number five. Seeing that that guy that was on the stake just get incinerated, he is going to reach over and he's trying to grab and pull on that stake now. Let's see here. All right, it comes pretty loose. You see it's barely in the tree stump at this point. Okay, Torden, you're up.
All right. Hopefully, finish him off with the great sword. All right. Damage. Yeah. I just basically just do a double-handed overhead swing and just split him in two, straight from the head down to the ground. Blade gets stuck in the ground. I hit him with so much force, and he just peels in two pieces and falls to the ground.
All right.
And that is it.
All right, you do that. And as you look over at that stake, you see it drops out of the stump and drops to the ground. You see, as it drops to the ground, you hear this shriek come from the tree, and then all is still.
Knocking an arrow and getting away from the stump.
Yeah, I think that would probably be a good idea. But as we go away, I'm going to light a torch and I'm going to toss it over there at the stump.
All right. You light a torch, throw it over at the tree, and the bushes and what's left there quickly catches fire. Are you going to watch it burn, or what are you doing?
Yes, I'm going to stand there for at least a good 2 or 3 minutes and make sure it's fully engulfed in flames.
All right. You see all the bushes and vegetation around it go up almost instantly, and the tree quickly catches fire shortly thereafter. Let me look at something.
It probably gets enraged. Comes after it.
All right, Torden, you notice as you're watching that wooden stake that had fell down at the base of the tree.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else burns up. The tree is now engulfing the tree. But it looks like that stake doesn't look like there's a scorch mark on it.
Oh goodness. Um, let's see. I would like to do a religion check and see if this is some kind of ritual that stake needs to stay there, or could it be possibly removed?
You don't recall any religious ceremonies or rituals in which a vampire that's been staked or anything like that, where the stake has to stay there. Usually, the act of penetrating a heart or whatnot with a stake is sufficient.
Mhm.
It's a magical stake. Isn't it? It's not burning.
Yeah. Um.
They're still shrieking? Sorry.
What's that?
Is that thing still shrieking down there?
The shrieking goes. It just. There was like a shriek, a sudden shriek, and then it went away.
Maybe we should retrieve that stake.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Okay, I will say a prayer to Lathander, even though it is kind of like half-assed at this point. And I will reach and grab this staff or spear or whatever it is, stake, and pull it away.
All right. You reach down, you grab it, and it's not even warm to the touch as you pull it out. And this the shaft here, it's probably about 18 inches long. It does have some runic symbols embedded in the shaft, not that you're able to get a good glance at it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's nothing you can decipher.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I'll just go ahead and just stow it on the back there with my great sword and stuff like that, and I guess we can just continue on, but just making sure that all the rest of the stuff is burnt.
Gotcha.
Don't want nobody else to come across this and then befall a worse fate than we could have, possibly been.
Okay. So yeah, you go to stow it in your pack. Aaron, you notice the symbols on that haft are in Elven.
Can I read them? I'm going to ask him
Sure.
if I could attempt to decipher steak.
Yeah, I
Okay.
give it to him.
Okay. You take a look, and that's what it says on it.
For some reason, I can't read it. It's not coming up on.
Oh, okay. Okay, hold on. You had it as Elven for languages, so let me type it again.
Uh, still not. It's the
There
same
you
thing.
go.
It's still a bunch of runes.
It says understood. Look above there. It should say what the translation is.
Oh, okay. Ah, name says Dawn's Glory.
Dawn's Glory.
Go ahead and give me a religion check. Actually, I'll let both of you actually roll a religion check.
That kind of goes along with my character. Not as religious as I used to be.
Gotcha. Have you, Aaron?
There we go.
All right, Aaron. You recall your dad, Gobel, mentioning uh, this weapon that used to be used by one of his friends years and years ago called Dawn's Glory. It used to be a mace that radiated radiant energy.
I want to pass that information about it on to Torden.
Hmm. This might catch a fancy price back in town to the right buyer. Interesting. I'll put it on my belt just to have it on me.
Okay. Any of you guys need to take a quick bio break?
Want to get a drink real quick?
All right. Let's go ahead and take a break then, real quick.
All right.
Alright, I'm back whenever you guys are.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
All right.
Welcome back. Looks like we're all back. Cool. All right. So, Torden, you place that haft back in your bag.
Yeah.
All right, Aaron, you continue tracking the goblins.
Yes, I do.
All right. You head down around the bend. There's a large pond off to your right hand side that you're skirting around. There's a bunch of foliage that's obscuring the view of the pond. But as you come around the corner, as you're following these tracks, you look over and you see this island out there. And you've been out here in the Bloodwoods, in the swamps here, a long time. You've never seen anything like this. This island is in immaculate shape. It's got, looks like it's freshly cut green grass that's in the middle of the island there. There's a whole bunch of these white petaled flowers all over. And in the center, there's, on this stump, you see this glowing, magical glowing object. It looks like
I inspect that.
it looks like the island is probably about 30 yards out in the middle of this big pond.
Deep is it?
You're not quite sure. Most of the swamp and whatnot around here is like waist deep at the most. Are you gonna try and go over to it then?
Yeah.
You said yeah or nah?
Yeah, so I'm gonna try to go over there.
All right, you head over there. At one point, it comes up to about chest depth, but you're able to wade your way over there. As you get closer, in the middle of that island where you saw that glowing orb on top of that stump, it looks like you see the remains of someone that was propped up against the stump, laying there. Now,
Okay.
Torden, are you following him?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll go ahead and fall out there with him.
Okay. So what are you doing? Are you going to
I wanna,
go closer? What?
inspect these remains.
All right. You get up closer and you look down. It looks like it's a skeletal corpse. It's wearing plate mail. Some of the paint and stuff that's faded on there. But you're able to recognize the emblem on his armor is that of the Knights of the Crimson Cross. The same organization that your dad claims to be the last remaining member of. Also, in his hands, it looks like he has a journal.
Journal?
Yep.
Pry the journal from his hands.
Okay. You pry the journal from his hands. As you do so, and you start reading, it you find that this is the remains of Fostman Honor. And this is one of your dad's closest friends from when he used to be in the Knights of the Crimson Cross. And your dad sometimes mentions about Fostman that he went missing about 3 decades ago. And they were never able to find him. They looked and looked for him. But you take a few moments and you read through it. And he mentions that he left Bogtown and he was on the hot pursuit of a vampire that had just that he just spotted in Bogtown. The old vampire's name was Andrei Klisovsky, and he tracked him to a nearby tree where he fought him with Dawn's Glory, was able to get a good blow, but to ensure that he killed him, he pulled the head of his mace off and drove the shaft through the vampire's heart, killing him. Anyhow, he says something about he was wounded during the attack. He found this nearby island, and that he was going to wait for help to arrive. That his friends knew that he was leaving, and that they should be here shortly. Anyhow, there's more scribblings that go on, but the ink is blotched, and you can't tell what the rest is that says.
I'd like to inspect the orb next.
All right, you head up to the orb and examine it, and it looks like it's the head of a mace.
There it is there. There's the rest of that weapon. And it's just setting on the stump?
It's just sitting on that stump there.
Okay. I want to reach out for it.
Okay, you reach out and you touch it, and you get a warm sense come over you, a sense of belonging as you touch it.
I gave the rest to I gave the grip to Torin. So I'll pass Torin the head of the mace.
Well, judging this is part of your lineage, I think you should do the honors. So I give the mace head back to him, and I pull out the haft and give it to him.
I'll nod my head in thanks for giving me the honor to put this weapon back together. And I'll attempt to put the head of the mace, the grip.
All right. You go to try and place it on the haft, but it looks like you're probably going to need a blacksmith to get it to put it back on.
All right. We'll store it away for now until we can make it back to town and reestablish Don's glory. I'm going to try to make a mental note. You said I've never seen it before, though?
You've never seen this island out here, and you've traveled this area a lot.
I have a sneaking suspicion there might be something magical about this area. I really don't want it disappearing again with best friend's remains. I'd like to try to get him off the island. I think I'll tie around the corpse, the waist of the armor or something.
Okay.
You said it was how far to the shore, basically across this pond from where the island is?
30 yards away.
I think I only have 50 feet of rope, but walk out as far as I can to the rope's end and then begin pulling his remains across.
Okay.
And Torin interrupts. You cannot treat the remains of the honored dead like this.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Please, allow me.
All right. Once more.
Okay, so
Thank Torin for his help.
Torin will put a little slash in his palm, and he will drip blood around the remains of the honored dead, and he will say a prayer to Lathander, and he will gather the bones in his arms, and since he's 6'2", he will just wade back across the water, making sure to walk slowly as to make sure that he doesn't drop any of the bones as he crosses back over to land.
All right. So you head back across, and you're almost to the water's edge. And there's this bright light that emanates from those remains next to you. And kind of your vision gets a little fuzzy, but it quickly returns to normal. And you're able to make it all the way across with the remains in hand.
Okay. All right, so I make it back over there, and now I set the remains on the ground for Aaron to, do what he will. And as he's starting to do what he needs to do with the remains, I walk up, like by his side and put my hand on his shoulders, like, well, my friend, seems like I've picked a very honor-worthy compatriot to be in. I'm honored that I'm able to travel with you. And as he puts his hand on his shoulder, there's a little warm glow from his hand as I lay on hands on Aaron to heal him.
Nice.
The honor's mine as well, Torden.
Okay.
And I just want to build like a little cairn or something. Uh, near that stump where he had slain the vampire. If I could find again. Have I seen that stump before or this area? Does anything look familiar outside of that island in the pond?
That island and that tree, you've never seen them before.
Okay. Well, I definitely want to put them near a familiar landmark so that I could return his remains to my father for a proper burial.
You do know that there's some mines that aren't too far to the west from here.
Away. All right. So let's try to enter him in those mines for now. Don't
Alright.
mind backtracking a bit, and after we drop the remains off, we'll try to resume our tracking of these creatures.
Okay.
Yeah, that's cool.
All right. So you start heading off to the mines. Are you also following the tracks or just heading straight for the mines?
If we could combine the two, then that would be great. If the tracks are going somewhat along the way, then we'll stay along the tracks for a while.
Okay. All right.
Cool.
So you head off in that direction, and it looks like these tracks are heading in that general direction. So you follow those for a while. After a little while, ways back, you kind of look back as if you're trying to mentally take note of where exactly this place is. And you look back, and all traces of that island and that tree are gone as you look back.
That's interesting.
Ooh, spooky!
All right, so you continue, hit it towards the mines. It's probably about half an hour later that you see the mines up ahead, and you see these tracks that you've been following. They go directly into the mines themselves as well.
Well, it looks like our destination's the same.
Looks like Lathander is good for something after all.
Well, can't really lug these remains around if we're going to find action before it. So I think I'll try to find a good spot out here. Spotty. And go inside. see what we can find in the mines. Maybe we'll have to clear them out before we take them inside and come back for them later.
Agreed.
All right. So you stash the remains right outside the entrance then?
And some brush, like kind of underneath some brush, try to hide it away so it can't be disturbed or something like that by anything that might enter the mines behind us.
Okay. All right. And then you head into the mines. All right. You go in a little ways. You see it goes probably about 40 to 50 feet inside. And it looks like the mines come to a T intersection where they split off to the left and to the right. Looking at the tracks, Aaron, you're able to tell it looks like the goblins kind of split off. 3 of them went to the left, 3 of them went to the right. Also, go ahead and give me a survival check, please.
Survival check for the tracks
Yes, please.
or something I'm unaware of. If
Yep.
it's for the tracks, if it's goblin or kobold, then I have advantage.
Yeah, I'll give you advantage on it. All right. And looking at the tracks that peer off to the left, um, it looks like they're heavily laden tracks, as if maybe they were probably carrying these kids, and that those ones went
Okay.
off to the left.
I'll point that out to Torden. I believe the ones that made these tracks here, heading off to the left, may be the one holding the kidnap or possessing the kidnapped children. We should follow those first.
Yes, because the blade of justice will strike, and you see him and grab his great sword with both hands, and he's starting to just grind at the handle, and you see some acid drip from his lips onto the ground.
All right. So let's go off to the left, Keith.
All right.
Laden tracks.
It looks very dark off to the left. Do you want to continue without any light?
I'm gonna pull out the head of. Did you say it was shedding a little glow, as if a magical glow?
Yep. Yeah. Dawn's Glory, the head of it sheds light in a 30-foot radius.
Okay. So I'm gonna kind of keep that cupped in my hand. So if I have to, I could just plunge it into my cloak. I can't really reach into the folds of my cloak comfortably, so I'll use Dawn's Glory for light.
Okay. So you use it for some light. Let's see here. And you head down to the left. It slowly descends further into the darkness. The light's able to give you enough light for both you and Torden. It kind of bends and wraps around, and you get to this one spot, Aaron. You see a small, thin tripwire made out of some roots that kind of spans the floor in front of you. Did you hear that, Aaron?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought For some reason, I thought you were talking to Torden. Okay, I spot the tripwire. The ends are going.
All right, so you trace the ends. You trace it over to the right hand side of the passageway here, and you see a collection of spikes that looks like it's spring loaded to shoot over and impel someone if it's sprung.
I think looking for a way to disarm it would probably be better than leaving it. If we have to make a hasty retreat, I don't want to accidentally trip it relying on memory to know where it's at. How easy does it look like it would be to remove?
So it looks like it's a pretty crude trap. It looks like it should be fairly easy to disable it.
Let's try to do that. Would that be a sleight of hand?
Yes, sir. All right, you're able to expertly disarm this trap. It poses no more threat.
There's one trap, Torden. Maybe we should keep our eyes out for more.
Agreed.
Keith, so I think maybe we should slow our pace a little bit. Keep an eye out, see if we could see any more tripwires or trapdoors or anything of the sort.
Okay. So you slow your pace down. The passages continue, and up ahead you see it starts to kind of turn sharply off to your right hand side. There's a bunch of spider webs and trash and different debris in here. Clearly, something's been living in here. Probably these goblins. And as you come around the corner, you both hear a bunch of voices. I see here. Draconic. Yep. Stand by.
Actually, it looks like it was left here. Anyway, I could kind of inspect that to get an idea of how long these things have been.
Sure. Give me a investigation check, please.
That's the one I'm bad at. Let's try it out.
All right. You take a look, and it looks like from the trash and everything here that these mines have been inhabited by these goblins for a long time. And you recall living in Bogtown that these mines were abandoned about 70 years ago. They used to be mined for gems and gold ore. There used to be a lot of money that used to come out and go into Bogtown years ago. But there was a time, about 70 years ago when all the miners just disappeared completely. People went out in search of them, and they were never found. And ever since then, people were just too spooked to go back, not knowing what happened to these miners, and then they were abandoned.
All right.
Anyhow, you hear some voices from down the way a little bit. Looks like there's another bend, but you hear some voices saying something.
Okay. So I want to tell Torden we should perhaps hurry. It sounds like they're speaking Goblin, and they're talking about lowering the kids down into a tadpole pool. they could mean by tadpole pool.
Mm. You see Torden with a grin upon his face. Let us hurry then.
We're gonna push along, Keith. We're gonna go try to find these. I'm gonna knock me an arrow.
Okay. So you push along, and there's a bend right around the corner, and you peer around, and you recognize goblins. And you see in a bunch of these burlap sacks, you hear some of the kids crying for their moms and whatnot. And you see a pair of goblins close to you near this pit that are tying this rope around one of these bags that's kicking and welling around at the moment.
Okay. One of them's holding a bag that's moving about, or they're all holding.
So there's a bunch of bags on the ground here next to the pit. The two closest goblins to you, they are currently wrapping a rope around one of these large burlap sacks. And you see the rope is connected to this block and tackle with it looks like it feeds down into the pit in the center of this room up ahead.
Okay. But we're not gonna have that. I'm gonna thud one of these goblins with the arrow.
Okay.
I guess we have surprise at this time.
Yep. They are not aware that you're there yet.
Okay, so I believe I have a +2 because goblin's a favorite enemy.
I believe you do.
Oh no, that's +2 damage. So let me take that +2 back off, and here's for my first arrow as I kind of get down on one knee and
Which
aim.
one? Which one are you targeting?
And this one right here, number 4. The aim. Oh, that didn't work out. Here we go. Ah,
Oh, wow. Oh boy. Roll me
Uh-oh.
some percentile dice with that, please.
I run into the room with my arrow knocked and fall into the pit.
All right. You see your arrow streak out. It hits a stalactite sticking down from the ceiling, and it glances off of that, and you see the arrow starting to go towards your target, and it kind of glides down a little bit, barely missing hitting the bag with the kid in it as
Oh my goodness.
it tappers around and falls down the hole.
Maybe arrows in these caves are a bad idea. Maybe I'll go with the short sword and dagger again.
Torden, did you want to do anything simultaneous with him doing that?
I would like to. You know what? I'll do a dash so I can get in the melee range with the goblin, cave goblin runt number 2. I'll do that.
Okay. Alrighty. We'll go ahead and lock it now. And let's go ahead and roll initiative for this round. and we'll get started.
All right.
You got it, Aaron? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I always lose initiative for some reason. I never know where it's at.
All right. So the surprise round went off, but I guess these goblins, they were pretty jumpy. As goblin number 2, he sees the dragon boar rush up at him, and he quickly does a backhand with his dagger, trying to stab at you. And that misses. Number 4, he looks up and he takes his dagger from his belt and he tries to jab it into your gut, Torden. Oh, snap.
Oh boy.
As
Oh boy.
as he cuts you into the chest pretty hard. And number 6 there, he rushes over. Actually, he will pass right next to you, Torden, if you'd like to take an opportunity attack. It looks like he's trying to get back over to Aaron.
All right. I definitely will.
And that hits. As you score a huge slash into its back end side, it howls out in pain as it slows its pace down. Aaron, you're up.
Right. Let's see. Oh, good. He ran up right there, so I'm gonna rush forward to meet this goblin. Not the other one. And I'm going to whip out the short sword and plunge it into a straightforward thrust. Be down a little. I'm kind of going for his midsection.
Okay.
Have him in the torso.
And you score a hit.
Okay. Now that's going to be +2 to damage. And it's +4. All right.
Nice.
I plunged my blade into his midsection, cutting deep into his torso with my stab. I'm gonna kind of knee him off of the blade, unimpel him backwards, dying flat on the ground.
Okay.
I think I moved 15 feet when I fought him, so I'll attempt
Yep.
to step over him and move up here.
Okay.
I'm sorry, and that's where I will end my round.
Okay, Torden, you're up.
All right. Taking that horrible slash, I raise my greatsword. Justice will be served. Big overhead strike, and I'm spending my inspiration to attack with advantage.
Okay.
All right, attacking number 2.
That scores a hit.
All right, damage incoming. Slamming the great sword across his left shoulder, and then I draw back, and it just starts spurting blood from the shoulder. So you may strike me down, but justice still will be served. And then that will be it for me.
Okay.
Right, and pass turn.
All right. That one that you scored that hit on, he is he sees all that blood dripping from your chest, and it's like a shark turned on. He goes into frenzy mode as he attacks you. And as he goes to attack, the dagger slips out of his hands and drops, and you hear it clatter and drop below the pit there in the center. Number 4 there. He looks down at the bags, and it looks like he's got an idea shaping in his head, but he frantically, with Aaron running up on him, he does a backhand dagger attack at Aaron. Striking Aaron for 6 damage. Alright, Aaron. You notice that goblin right next to you, as he went to attack you and kind of turned, around the back of his ear, you see this gray, slimy, tadpole-looking thing on the back of his ear.
All right. Oh no. I'm gonna go ahead and take him out, or try to. I'm gonna whip out my dagger this time. Swing with the backhand slash.
And which one? Number 4?
I'm sorry, yeah.
Okay, that hits.
I'm going to swing the short sword one more time and another thrust. Just an outward stab.
And that one misses. What's
Okay.
your dagger score to hit?
My dagger. There we go.
Alright, this goblin, it's bleeding profusely, but it does not go down. Both of them are actually bleeding pretty good. You hear it yell out something, Aaron.
Those little suckers. What are they feeding down there? Associated with the slug on this thing's head.
Anything else, Aaron? Okay, Torton, you're up.
All right. Another big time slash at the runt number 2.
And that's a hit.
As I raise my great sword above my head, you'll rule the day that you insolent. He just like yells out. He just belts out this crazy, just gurgling in draconic tongue war cry. Children, you will never, ever lay a hand on any children again, you bastard! And he just drives the whole entire great sword through his chest. He dangles it over the pit, and he shakes it one fierce time, and as it just rips, the blood and sinew and guts just spill out of it as it drops into that pit. And even though it's a two-handed sword, he's able to raise it up with one hand and just lets out this just crazy cry of war and battle lust. And he looks over at the other goblin, and he just starts to snarl, and acid starts to drip from his mouth. And that will be it for me.
Nice. All right. You look at that other goblin, and it has a look of worry over his face. And both of you know goblins. By now, they would be running. But something is driving them on. And this one here, even though he's got that panic look in his face, He looks at you guys, and it looks like he's getting ready to try and make an attack. And he kind of squints his eye like there's some pain or a headache. And he looks down at the kid instead that's in the bag. And he reaches down and tries to pull on it to try and pull it over the side. And he grabs hold of the bag and gives a mighty tug, and the bag rolls over off to the side, and you hear a large splash from down below. And it looks up at you, and it starts smiling. Aaron, you're up.
And my with the rush of adrenaline and my fear at seeing the kids go over the side and into below, I'm gonna take that. Oh, does he get an attack of opportunity or?
Yep.
Okay.
Let's see.
Just kind of
here.
backpedal.
And as it does, it tries to do a quick jab with its dagger. As it does, the dagger flies out of its hand, missing.
Nice. All right. And then after I back up a few steps, I'm just gonna barrel forward. I'm gonna try to just kind of see if I could push him back over the edge, and I'm gonna go in with him, try to get to them kids if he goes over.
Okay. Give me an athletics check, please.
Action. No, skills. And
Or acrobatics. Yeah, that'll work.
oh, sorry about that.
It's all right. All right. So you run ahead, probably doing like a clothesline as you push him in, and both you go over, and you fall down into the darkness and splash into the pool down below. Okay.
Take a full round action.
Yep, that'll be your action for the round.
Oh.
All right, Torden.
Okay. Oh boy, this is crazy. Okay, so is there any pathway down, like any walkway or anything that I could traverse to make my way down there?
So you quickly scan the sides of this pit that goes down, and it unfortunately there doesn't seem to be any path. It looks like the only way down is this rope that's connected to this block and tackle that would lower you down into the pit.
Okay, so YOLO, I will try to grab that rope and uh hopefully get down there without killing myself with me sitting here with one hit point.
All right. So you jump over and grab the rope and try and go down that way.
Yeah.
It'll be a pretty easy one. Give me an athletics check, please.
Okay, athletics check. Oh boy. It was easy.
All right. So you hop over, missing the rope, and you slide down, your hands burning as you're trying to catch the rope. And as you drop down, probably about 30 feet into this pool of water, you're able to slow yourself down just enough. You're in the pool of water. You see next to you there, you see the goblin, you see Aaron Kell both swimming, and you see the bag with the kids kicking around in it is slowly starting to sink. All right. So with that, back up to the rounds. It looks like it's the goblin's turn. And he's going to try and punch Aaron Kell. And that is a miss. All right, Aaron, your turn.
All right. I'm gonna have to let go of one of my short swords because I dove in with it in my hand. I'll see if I could sheath it or out at the goblin.
Okay. So you're gonna sheath it and attack with what, your dagger?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't mark him. Sorry about that.
Okay, that's a hit.
Okay. This hit, and for the damage, oh, that'd actually be 9 because I got the +2 for favorite enemy.
Okay. All right, that's just enough.
Nice.
Torden.
Grabbing the kids in the bag, getting to someplace dry.
All right.
Still
So,
looking tough with that 1 hit point.
gotcha. You try and peer around down here. It's hard to see since Aaron isn't holding the orb right now. There's a little bit of light coming from where it's still on him, where it's coming through. You're in this pool, and there's this weird. Actually, both of you give me nature checks, please. All right. You both look around, and you're in this pool. On the west side of this pool, there's this large statue that sticks up of some humanoid entity with these 5 tentacles sprouting from its mouth. You see some stairs that kind of go down both sides of this pool that opens up into a large chamber. So there is a dry spot where you can climb up out of the pool into the larger chamber, or you can try and climb back up the rope with them.
Ah.
And speaking of which, Aaron Kell, you look about and you see a bunch of these tadpole looking things, very similar to what was attached to the back of the ear of the goblin, starting to swim towards you guys.
Oh. I'm gonna point that out to Torden.
Where are the children?
It's one of those things. Where are the children?
They're in the bag that's slowly sinking into the pool.
We gotta get that bag. I want to go for the bag and try to hoist that out.
Okay, give me an athletics check.
Okay. Oh, terrible with athletics too. Oh, not as bad as investigation. We'll see what happens.
Oh, so close. You go to heave on it, and with all those kids in there, you're struggling. There,
Okay.
it's just too heavy for you to haul them out of there.
All right. So I'll call for Torden to help me pull these kids from the water, get them away from these things.
Yep,
Okay.
I will. Yep, I'm going to assist.
All right. Let's have Torden make another athletics check with advantage, please.
Okay, advantage. Athletics.
All right, and with that, you're able to grab hold of the bag and pull them out of the pool. You're now at the base of the statue with the stairs going down both sides of the statue. You look down, Torden, and you also see those tadpoles swimming towards you guys, but you guys are out of the pool at this point.
After dragging the children in the bag, we of course cut open the bag and let them out and breathing heavily because I'm wearing a heavy, medium-sized chain shirt, so I'm huffing. Are are the kids okay?
So you look over the kids, and it looks like they're crying, they're scared, they're bruised, but overall, it looks like they're all in good shape.
Okay, awesome. Torden, we need to find some way to get out of here.
Some oil to light those slugs on fire. I don't have no oil. Let's just get these kids out of here, man. That's the main goal. So, I'm with Torden. I said we grab these kids and get the heck out of here. This is what we came for. Well, mostly. We got to get these kids back in town and then maybe investigate these caves further. Good time.
Agreed.
So, how do you want to go about getting the kids out from here?
Yeah, that's gonna be a problem. We go back on the water. The tadpole thing gets us. We go down the steps, probably out of character, knowledge of course, mind flayers. So, or illithids if you want to be generalized. So, yeah, proverbial
but
rock in a hard place.
to us, it looks like the only option is downstairs. Kid's conscious. How far is? You said there was a rope leading out of the pit.
So, yeah, the rope leads straight back up to the room above where you guys fell down from. There's that block in tackle that has the rope that is currently dangling straight down. It's in the pool over there, so you can get out of there. You're also in a very large chamber that's probably about 50 feet long, 60 feet wide. It's hard to make out if there's any entrances or exits from where you're at and your light that you have.
Well,
Oh,
maybe your divine pieces of weapon may show us something that we can either do with the weapon itself or something else to get out of here.
we reach that rope. Did you say?
So that rope, it's dangling in the middle of the pool. It would be a long reach, but it's possible you could reach out and grab it.
Okay. I'm gonna I'm gonna attempt to take my bow at its length and see if I could use that to kind of fish for the rope.
Okay. I will give you advantage on an acrobatics check to reach for the rope, please. All right. You reach out using your bow. It gives you just enough length where you're able to grab it and haul that rope over towards where you're at without getting in the pool. Of course, the tadpoles, seeing the movement of the rope, they follow the rope around. But you now have the rope in your hands.
All right. I'm gonna pull it out of the water so none of those things could try climbing up that rope. I don't know what the heck they are or what they could do. Kind
All
of
right.
creeping me out though.
You pull it out of the pool, and it looks like there's about an extra 10 feet that was dangling in the pool itself. You're able to pull it out. One of those things tries to grab on, but you're able to take your dagger and like swat it back into the pool.
All right. So we got the rope. Now to see if these kids could climb. How are they health wise? Are they the kids seem okay? Can we let them out of the bag?
They're all out of the bag. You've inspected them. Outside of some bruising, they look like they're all in good shape.
want to ask them if they think they could handle climbing out.
And they're like, way up there with those things in the pool?
I was afraid of. All right. Is there anywhere we could tie the rope? Why was that? What was it?
You've got an extra 10 feet of rope there. You could probably tie it around the base of um, that statue that you're right next to.
I'm not sure that would work either. I guess we could kind of tie the rope off so it doesn't slide back in the pond, and we could try to climb out. We could attempt to climb out one at a time. See if we can carry one kid with us each time we climb up there. Otherwise, the only other thing I could think of is taking the stairs. See where that gets us.
Well, uh, it's a little risky, but we could. One of us could stay with the children. One could go down the steps just to see what's down. If you see anything crazy, just run back up, and then we'll try the rope thing.
All right. I guess I could scout ahead a little bit, Keith.
Okay.
What I could find down the steps. I'm gonna kind of try to wrap the glowing orb in the folds of my cloak so as not to make too much light,
Okay.
and I'm gonna attempt to move with stealth.
Okay. Give me a stealth check, please. All right. So you stealthily make your way down the stairs, and you look about on this side of the room. You see this large glass um, looks like a large glass, like maybe aquarium, and inside it you see this green bubbling liquid in there, and you see this like spongy substance in there. um, as you get closer, it almost acts like it moves. You you peer further to the back of this corridor, and you do see an exit that looks like it heads uh, up above. Looks like it tapers up to the top somehow. Do you want to continue going forward, or finish looking around in this chamber?
I'm gonna finish looking around in this chamber a little bit.
All right. You go around and you look at the other side of the chamber. You see more of these aquarium-looking things with this green liquid in there. You come across this one pedestal with an orb that's glowing green. At the base of it, you see a couple remains. Looking at the remains and some of the tools, looks like maybe they were miners at some point. They're long since skeletons with rags. You see some mining picks on them. And as you look at the back of their skull, and there's this hole as if something gnawed through the back of their skull.
Okay. So there's apparently some other things in here. Not very ideal to take all these kids along on what is probably just more danger. We should attempt to try to find a way out using this rope. Go in a little bit further and see what I can find.
All right. As you get closer to the back of this chamber, you see that one exit that leads up, and to the very right of that, you also see a path that winds further down.
Okay. Path that leads up. Is that an exit?
It looks like it exits out of this room and goes up somewhere.
Okay, that might be a decent idea. I'm gonna go ahead and go up these stairs and see what I can find.
So you're going to take the path leading up.
Yes.
Okay. All right. You head up that way a little ways. You go about 30 feet up. Torden, you see the light just, you're completely in the darkness now. Aaron, you go up a little ways, and it looks like the path kind of straightens out. And you peer around. It looks like there's a corridor that wraps around to the left. It looks like you're back in hewn rock territory. Looks like the actual mine part again. You look around at the garbage and whatnot. It looks like goblins. You also see a couple goblin footprints that are kind of recent up here.
But we could use these tracks to help us find the way out. Are there a lot of goblin tracks?
You look around and you estimate about 8 goblins.
Kind of a hard decision. I don't know if we come across 8 goblins. I don't know if we could protect all of the kids with just the 2 of us. I'm gonna take the news back to Torden. I don't know what I found.
We might fare better. Try to climb up the rope. My life is waning as we speak.
Oh,
I would not be any use for you if I take another strike from our foes.
I'm gonna attempt to look for some or anything like that I might be able to find in order to cast my ranger spell, Cure Wounds.
What is it that you're looking for?
I don't know. I was just trying to think of a. Sorry, my daughter unplugged my headphones. Go out there.
Well, okay.
Okay. I'm just looking for a way to cast my spell.
Okay. You're trying to look at how to do it in game or out of character or what?
Description on it. It doesn't say if I need any specific components or not. Actually, it's verbal and somatic for components.
Yep.
Yeah, I was gonna get some moss and rub some moss or something on his wounds as I'm casting my Cure Wounds.
Okay.
How do I cast that? That way. I don't know how to use the spell on here.
Okay.
Into
So hit the magnifying glass off to the right. There you go. You got it.
Thank you. I feel my life returning to me now.
All right.
Now we can fight after we take care of the children. Sorry.
Aaron, as you're doing that and you hear the wounds heal and whatnot, you hear a slight shuffle coming from the far back of the room towards one of those entrances or exits.
Oh, something's coming. Still in the room with the slugs?
You are still, yeah. The pool with those little slug things are in the center of this chamber.
Okay.
This large chamber.
Lips telling Torden to keep quiet for a moment. Tell the kids in a whisper, quiet,
All right.
bitches. And
Okay. Okay.
try to
I'll keep it down.
keep the light from the orb hidden. And we'll wait and see what. I guess we'll wait and see what we can find. What comes upon one of those exits, entrances,
Okay.
or whatever.
All right. You quiet down and you listen for a little bit, and you hear that shuffling getting distant.
Louder?
Looks like it's getting quieter, as if it's headed away from you.
So the sound's receding.
Yes.
I'll nod my head and motion for everybody to come, and we'll go into that other room where the two sets of stairs are, going up and down.
Those stairs that go, oh, okay, to the back of the room where you hear that shuffling.
Yeah.
Yes or no?
Yeah.
All right. So you take the kids and you head towards the back of the room,
Yeah.
closer to the direction where you heard the shuffling earlier.
It sounded like it was receding, so
Yeah.
I'm hoping it's going down the stairs. Maybe we can make our way up the stairs and try to find a way out of here.
Okay. All right. And as you're headed that way, a couple of the younger kids, they're like, I want my mommy. Where's my mommy at?
Tell the kids, quiet, you're still in danger until we're free of this place.
I don't
Kind of
want
a
to be
whisper,
here
huh?
no more.
Oh boy.
We're working on. Quiet.
And you hear it's just deathly silent down here.
Well, that's not good. Want to suggest everybody to stop moving for a moment and just listen.
All right.
Brother,
Everyone gets
No.
quiet. You listen. You guys don't hear anything.
whoever's down here may have just did the same thing and stopped to listen for minutes and just be quiet. We still don't know if we could be outnumbered or not. We'll wait a little bit, see if we hear any more sounds, and if it stays quiet, like a minute or two, we'll just continue on our way.
Okay. So you guys listen. You're down there what seems to be an eternity listening. It's quiet. You don't hear anything. Occasional drip coming from the pool behind you. That's it.
Okay, well, I'm going to take that to mean, or possibly free of threat, and motion for everybody to continue on.
Okay. All right. So you're at the passage. You're there where the passage goes up and one goes down. Where would you like to go?
So from this point, it only goes in two directions.
Yes. Up or down?
we'll continue on up the path, or maybe I'll tell everyone to hold here, and I'll go ahead and scout ahead again. Stealth, see what's up ahead of us.
Okay. So you're going to scout ahead, and you're going up or down?
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
We're trying to get out of this place.
Up? Okay. All right, so you head up, and you're scouting ahead. You go up about 30 feet, come up into a small little chamber here. You see a bunch of goblin debris and whatnot. Looks clear.
Okay, so maybe we're running the opposite direction. This looks like the area the goblins may be staying in,
Looks like it.
or one of the areas.
Yep.
Go back and go the opposite direction.
All right, so you head back to down, meet up with everyone, and you're going to head down?
I want to tell them that looks like some kind of goblin sleeping quarters or something back that way. I'm going to scout back in the opposite direction and see if it looks any more positive.
Okay, so you head it down. All right, so you head down. You go down about 60 feet. This rough hewn stone. You see some sparkles of some gems in the walls. And you see another chamber up ahead, and you see a bunch of these. You see about half a dozen of these, like large aquarium things, and you see bodies floating in them.
Okay, we're officially lost.
And,
I'll go back and describe.
And about that time, you get a splitting headache come over you.
Mind blasted. All right. Holding a hand to my temple, I'm going to try to backtrack and find Torden.
All right. You head back. You find him there, where at the back of the cavern where it goes both up and down.
And I'll explain to him that the path downward leaves floating amongst water, aquariums filled with some apparently living sponge-like tissue. The other way is what appears to be a goblin sleeping quarters.
You hear something coming up the passage from down below.
Here it comes again.
We have
Suggestions?
to get out of here now. We must go up.
The goblin sleeping quarters
Yes.
leading from that room, Keith?
You hear the sound coming from down below where you just came from.
Yeah. But the what appeared to be the goblin sleeping quarters, was there another path leading from that room besides the one I came into it in?
Yeah, there was an exit up there, yes.
Okay, let's go back that way and check that out. Let's make haste. I don't know if we want to mess with whatever's coming up this path right now.
All right. So you guys head up the path. You come up into that, what appears to be an old mining area. You see an exit in the south side of that little cavern there. And,
All right, let's try that exit.
all right. So you start making way. You head to the south. All of a sudden, bam! You guys both have this huge headache. Some of the kids start screaming. Torden, you're in a lot of pain.
All right.
You kind of have to hold your head for a few minutes, and you're able to finally shake it off. Man, that did not feel good. And the kids are
I
screaming.
ain't got no slug in my head, do I?
You kind of feel around on your head, and you don't feel anything on your head. You hear more shuffling coming from down below.
We got to get out of here.
So you guys keep going to the south, down that passage.
Doing our best to press on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hands to temples, eyes squinted, trying to
All right. So you
educate.
you hit to the south. Kids screaming, holding your temples, hearing something following you from behind. You head to the south. The passageway kind of bends off to the right, bends further to the right, starts heading north. You head in that direction. Another twinge hits you guys from the headache. You're both able to shake it off. One of the kids stops, kind of dazed. Their eyes are kind of rolling up in the back of their heads as you hear the shuffling continuing behind you.
I'll snatch that kid up and throw him over my shoulder, or try
Okay.
to.
All right. You continue heading to the north. You go about 60 feet and you see a passage that goes to the left, and up ahead it looks like it curves to the right. Which way would you like to go?
Try right.
To the right? Okay. You guys head off towards the right. You hear some movement coming from the left. You hear some goblin voices off to that left. So it looks like you probably went the safe direction. You head off towards the right. You go about another 20 feet. You start to see some daylight. You see a T intersection up ahead. Daylight is coming from the left, or you can continue straight.
We're gonna make haste for the daylight. I'm knocking an arrow.
Okay. So you make haste towards the daylight. The kids screaming. They burst out running as fast as they can. All of a sudden, another wave of something hits you. Headache. Torden, you are stunned as you're moving forward. All of a sudden, you can't move. You're just stunned. Aaron, you go to move ahead and you see Torden just standing there.
Oh, great. I'm gonna try to give him a nudge. See if I could the budge.
Okay. You give him a nudge. And Torden,
Like
you're able to shake it loose. You see Aaron shaking you. You're able to snap out of it. You hear some goblin voices coming from behind you.
Okay, just try to keep pushing forward.
All right. You
Continue with
guys.
the main goal. We want to try to get these kids, and if possible, remains back home.
Okay. All right. So you guys start rushing. You get out of the mine. You look off down to the right where the bush was, where you hid those remains. Keep going? Or did you want to do something with those remains?
Grab them.
Yeah, we're gonna try to grab them remains.
Okay. All right. Who's grabbing the remains?
I'll grab them.
All right, Torden.
So, yeah, so he can keep his arrow notched, ready to fire.
Okay.
I was
Torden.
trained on that cave.
Okay. You grab those remains. About that time, another wave of psychic energy hits you guys. You're able to shake it off. You hear the goblins back behind you going, "They're escaping!" At least that's what Aaron, you hear. They're escaping. And you guys just start running as fast as you can with the kids back home.
Yeah.
Okay, give me survival checks, please.
All right. be against goblins or survival in general?
Just survival in general.
Here we go.
All right. Now that you're in the sunlight, you guys just burst off running. The kids, they're running as fast as they can. They're able to keep up with you all. You run for a good 20 minutes, and you still hear those goblins back behind you, dogging at your heels. All right.
Bogtown have guards on the wall. How far are we from Bogtown?
You're probably another 20 to 30 minutes away from Bogtown. Okay, give me another set of survival checks, please.
The 30 minutes, that's a long run.
All right. So you guys are running at a good pace. And Aaron, about 10 minutes in, further in, you start cramping up. It's getting hard to run at this point.
Okay. I'll slow it down a little bit. I'll tell Torden to go on. I got my bow and arrows if I have to start taking out goblins. If I could shoot up to 120 feet or something like that with sharpshooter.
Yeah, you got some range
Try to
on
slow
that
down
thing.
some goblins for a little bit. Long enough to catch my breath before I take off running again.
Okay.
Give Torden some time to get these kids home.
All right. So Torden continues on, I'm assuming?
I will, but I will still keep him in eye shot. I won't get out of range to where I can't see him.
Okay. All right, Aaron. You hear these goblins. It sounds like they're getting closer. But you're able to elude them. You know these trails pretty good. Probably even better than these goblins do. And you're able to still, even though you're cramping up, you're able to hold a reasonable pace. Torden, you keep an eye at him. You see Aaron, he's struggling with all his might to keep up. But eventually, 20 minutes goes by, and you see the outskirts of town up ahead. And you make it there. The kids make it there. The guards run out, and you hear the goblin voices fade as you get closer to town. Looks like you made it back.
Ah, good. We found the children.
Yes.
I'm gonna alert one of the guards to bring us my father, Gobblekill.
All right. And they go and they get Gobel. They bring him to the town outskirts. And he's brimming from eye to eye as he sees all the kids there. A bunch of the mothers, because they're the kids, they live in the houses right there next to that western gate. They come running out to greet their kids, checking them over, and they're cheering both you and Torden. Gobel eventually makes it over there. He's
I
beaming
call out
with
to
pride.
Gobel. Gobel, we bring other good news besides the fact that we found the children. Towards Torden and pull out the head of. We have found his long lost friend's remains.
And with that, his eyes just pop open wide. As he's all, "You found Fostman?" And he runs up and he examines the clothing and everything and the book. Wow, Fostman, after all these years, what happened to him? Why couldn't we find him?
I explained to him that I know the areas, the forest surrounding Bogtown well, and it's a phenomenon that I can't quite explain. His journal. Almost forgot I had it. An island appeared as if from nowhere, and there upon a stump rested the head of his mace. Surrounding the island and nearby there was a stump with a makeshift stake of what was it? Dawnbringer?
Dawn's Glory?
Of Dawn's, which was the rest of Dawn's glory, he explains in the journal, was used to slay a vampire. This area has remained hidden from sight for so long and suddenly appeared. We have no clue. Find these things there, and felt that he deserved a proper burial. We brought him home.
Yes, we will have to bury him with honors.
Dev Go Bell, the rest of I can't remember the name for nothing. Dawn's Glory, the handle.
Okay. And with that, he's all. We will have to see about getting this weapon restored. I think it may
Yes,
aid
I
us in our quests up ahead. He looks over at you, at Torden, and comes over and gives you a mighty shake. My thanks, Torden, and thanks of Bogtown for what you have done.
The thanks is mine because there was justice. Not as much justice as I would like to have exacted, but justice nonetheless. And like I said, the honor is mine because as these clerics sit in their ivory towers, there's people that need to be in the thick of things, making sure things get done the right way. So therefore, I thank you for allowing me to be in the thick of things to make things right and just.
Explain the location we found to my father. The slugs in the pool the goblins were going to throw the children into. The same slugs behind the ear of one of the goblins, seemingly attached to its head. Goblins wouldn't flee as normal goblins would, but fought us to about how we was chased from the place by something we couldn't see. East horrendous headaches upon us. And did I mention the gems with the sentient substance?
Wow, that is boding news. That does not bode well. Wow, so many threats against Bogtown. We shall assemble the adventurers and see which avenue is pursued next.
Very well.
And Gobel says, the town shall reward you accordingly. We've got a couple hundred gold pieces to share between you two. It's not much, but we don't have much, and especially with those red cloaks snooping around. Just keep this between us.
Yes.
Very well. But there will be a day of reckoning with those idiots also. But as you wish, we will keep this to ourselves.
Good. Well, I think, well, let's go have a drink, shall we? And with that, he heads off towards the Laughing Harpy. Drinks are on me.
Let's go have a drink.
All
Very
right.
well.
And with that, we will end today's session.
Awesome.